Hello everyone, my name is Varun and today in this video we are going to discuss about how we can optimize our React application using React.memo. But before diving into the code base, I would like to share how React actually works and it will give us a better understanding that where and how we can optimize our React application. So we know that React actually revolves around components. Everything that you see in a application is a component or it is a part of different components, right? And each component can have different parts. It can have a state, it can have a property, or it may have a context provider, right? So the thing is, whenever there is a change in state, context, or props of that component is going to re-render. This is how the React works. So now you might be thinking that how that thing will change, how that state or probe will change. They will be changed based upon the user event. Let's say I am clicking on a button and it is changing the state. Or maybe I am having a parent or child relationship and in my parent I have changed some state and that state is being used as a probe. Similarly, my child will again re-render. Similarly, if my component is using a context provider and some of the value from that context is changed, again, my component is going to re-render. The interesting point here to note is that let's say we have a child and apart from this child, we have another child. So it is a parent and this is a child. So whenever we have this kind of hierarchy, the most important thing that you should know is that even if my parent is changing, it is re-rendering, it is for sure going to re-render the child component. That thing is very important. Even if I am using a state, probe, or context or node, it will not matter. It will still re-render my child component. So, if this is the case, you might be wondering that, okay, this means that my whole hierarchy of React components are going to change based upon the change in the state, right? Change in the state of a particular component and whole the child hierarchy is going to re-render. Yes, of course. But before actually making that impression, let me first also show you that how React do these changes into multiple phases. So whenever we load the application for the first time, all the components for that page are going to be rendered, right? From rendered, I mean that it actually calls react.create element inside of it. And if that parent component is having a child component, that component is again going to be called via react.create element. So this means that my whole application, all the components are rendered for the first time. Now user is making some event can be click of a button which is actually changing a value. So let's say it has changed a value. Then there is going to be another phase called reconciliation or define algorithm where what it does is it actually compares via a virtual DOM that if there is a need to change the element, there is a need to change the DOM. It compares it by comparing the React elements with the previous rendered elements. The important point here is that it doesn't actually does the manipulation as of now. This is not done. So finally we have another phase called commit phase where it actually does the updations to the real DOM. That is why I am saying that this is the slowest phase. As it is the slowest and DOM manipulations are costly, React does it in batches. So it is not like that there is a change in the state and it will directly make the update. It actually do all those updates to the tree in batches. You might think that okay, if it is doing things in batches, it is waiting, then obviously the user experience is going to be slow. No, React is very highly optimized for handling these things, and user I may not be able to see that okay, this commit is done via a some kind of lag. So the important point here is that even if my component is re-rendering, it doesn't guarantee that commit phase is going to be done. So let's say in our same scenario where we have component, parent component, let's call it a parent component, right? And let's call it a child component. So the thing is, even if my parent is changing, it is going to re-render the parent. Maybe my child component will still re-render, but maybe it may not do that commit phase. It will go to the reconciliation, it will compare the elements, and it will see that, okay, I don't think that I need to get re-rendered or not re-rendered. I may not require a commit phase. I don't need to do the actual DOM manipulation. So this way, it is not necessary that if my child component is getting re-rendered, it is always going to be costly unless my commit phase is done. So I hope that now we have a basic understanding that how React actually works, how it will re-render, how the commit phase will happen. Now let's dive into the code base. So this is the very basic application. You can see that this is rendering a parent count and 0, and clicking on click me, it is going to update the value, right? So now let's first see the anatomy of a component. I shared with you that the component can have a state, prop, or context, and whenever that value is changed, any value is changed, the component is going to re-render, right? So here you can see that I am using a useState hook with the count and set count, and there is a button. Clicking on that button is updating the value of my state using the update count method. Update count method is going to set the value of count with 1, right? With +1. So this is how it is working. You can see this is the parent and I am clicking on click me. It is updating the value to 1 whenever the value of my state is changing. As I said that my component is going to re-render again. So that is why this component is called again, which again called this is parent, right? So let me type a click on this button again. You can see that it is again called. It is again called. So whenever I am updating a state, my component is re-rendering. Now let's see a very interesting phase where I have a child and return if this is child, right? And now in order to use this is I am child, let's add a console. I am child, I am parent. So let's use this child inside this component. So now I have a hierarchy where I have a app component which is the parent, and inside that app component there is a child component. Now let's see it in action. So you can see that whenever I have run the application for the first time, it calls this is parent and I am child for the first time. This is my render phase. Now let's try to update the state. Wow. You can see that it is calling this is parent and then this is child. That is the interesting point. Let's call it again. You can see that even if my child is not using anything, not a state, prop, or context, still it is getting re-rendered. That is how React actually works. So now the point is that re-rendering necessary? Is that important? Now let me also show you one more thing. Let's see how the DOM is manipulated. So this is the DOM. You can see. Let me update the value. You can see that only 6, 7, 8, 9. The values on the click are is updated. My child is also there. It is also getting re-rendered, but it is not actually doing the commit phase. It is not actually updating the value in my DOM. So that is the most important and interesting point that you should know. Now, we can't say that this child is re-rendering and this is a costly component. No, this re-render is not costly, but still it is the unnecessary re-render. Now the question is how we can actually prevent this re-rendering. We can prevent this re-rendering by using a higher order component react.memo. So just wrap your component inside the react.memo, and what it will do is it will memorize this component, retain the UI, preserve the UI of this component, and then later use it without making the further re-renders. So now what I have done is I have passed a component to the react.memo. As I'm saying that this is a higher order component, it takes the component, make its make its memoized version and returns the memoized component. So now you can see that this code is done. Let's see that in action. So again, the render phase, this is parent and I am child, right? Let's clear it and now click on this. So guys, you can see that now I am not seeing that this is parent or I am parent, right? It is only rendering this is parent. So behind the scenes, what it is doing is it will say that, oh, I have a memoized version. Before that, it will check that is there any property passed to the child and are those properties same? If those properties are same, then it will not re-render the component. It will just return the older UI of the component. And in our case, we are not providing any prop, so it will not do anything. And we have prevented our unnecessary re-rendering. All right. Now let me share the interesting fact again. Now let's say that my child is dependent on the count itself. So what I will do is I will type count is equal to count and I'm going to use this count and let's call this count over here. So you can see that clicking on it, parent is updated, child is also updated, and in the consoles also you will see that this is parent and I am child. See, every time I am updating the parent as the child is using the parent value as a prop that is count, it is again re-rendering. So you might be thinking that okay, that is not good. It is again calling, but this is how it should work. Whenever my component depends upon a value from outside, and that value is changed, it should re-render. Might be you are using something or you are doing something with that count value in the child component, and you want to do some operations which should update the UI, right? And in that case, you should do that re-rendering. Now, the interesting point here is that it gives us the another answer that you might be thinking that why not I use React.memo in every component, right? Because it is preventing my component from unnecessary re-renders. Like say, if I am not using the count or might be I am using some another property which is not updating by clicking on this button, right? Then it will not call my child component. So at one point of time it is preventing my re-render, right? Now let's take the another way out. The same scenario, I am passing the count, clicking on the button, I know that it is definitely going to update the state which is being used in the child and child is going to be re-rendered. Now in this case, what React is doing is it is doing one extra comparison because of this memoized version. So in the memoized version, what it will do is it will compare that are the props change. It will compare the previous prop count with the latest count, and then it will decide that okay, props is changed. Then it will do the commit phase. It will say that okay, I need to do the re-rendering, and then I will do the commit phase if the change in the DOM is required. So here, what is it is doing is one, it is comparing the props, and if props are not same, it will do the re-rendering, right? Second, if it requires changes in the DOM, the commit phase will surely happen. So that is the core crux of using React.memo. Guys, you have to be very careful while using React.memo. It should not be like you are over optimizing your application, and that is actually overkilling the application performance. So now you might be thinking that how you can decide that you should use the React.memo or you should not. I would recommend you to open your profiler, load the application, make the changes to the DOM, and see that how much time is actually being taken by that child component that is being re-rendered. And if you really feel that you have to add React.memo, then do add that. Similarly, as I have mentioned that if your child component is re-rendering, but it is not making a commit phase, that is, it is not making a actual DOM change, then that is also fine because we know that real DOM updates are only the ones which are very costly. So at the end, what I would recommend saying is that before preventing your re-renders, do fix your slow renders. So if your main component is taking a lot of time in rendering the application for the first time, it means that I should first prevent that, only then focus on doing the re-rendering phase. That's all from my side, guys. I hope that you have liked this video. If you have any query, do let me know in the comment sections, and don't forget to subscribe this channel, as I'm going to upload a lot more about complete full stack development, from front end to back end to system design to data structures, and even how you can crack your full stack interview. So might be there is going to be an interview series. So that's all from my side, everyone. Goodbye. See you soon.